Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
Mishki here, joining the GL world to pitch my new podcast, which now comes out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. The show features an extraordinary array of exotic circus performers, forgotten Hollywood starlets, reclusive Fortune 500 CEOs, professional taxidermists. Yep, wait a minute, that's a different promo. Where's the promo for GLers? Here it is. Let's try this again. Mishki here, pitching my new podcast. We're out of time? Could I do it again?
Hey, Garage Logicians. Stick around for a preview of American Experiment's latest podcast with Grace Keating and Katherine Johnson. This week we talk walls at FarmFest, marijuana mayhem, and Trump's efforts to clean up D.C.
So Walls was at FarmFest. This was his triumphant return to the agriculture event. Bill, for our listeners who don't know what FarmFest is, explain it to us.
Yeah, it's a 3-day agriculture expo in southern Minnesota. It's kind of grown over the years. So just think trade show in the ag business. So the FarmFest audience is very conservative now. And so it's not been a friendly place for Tim Walz. It's a little bit hostile for him in greater Minnesota. You can see that electorally, and it gets shown when he comes to FarmFest.
And it's interesting given his kind of public persona when it came to being on the campaign trail with Kamala, because one of the things they really liked about Tim Walz, I think, was that sort of like rural thing he tried to have going on. They had those camo hats, remember? And then, when he actually goes to FarmFest, and has to debate Scott Jensen, the crowd was not on his side.
Yeah, and can you blame them? I mean, he did try to put out this like man of the people, rural personality, camo hat, Coach Tim Walz. That was the persona he was cultivating. And then he would turn around at home in Minnesota and say, there's just rocks and cows out there. Who cares about those people? I mean, these people at FarmFest are those people that he claims to hate because they're all Trump supporters.
Yeah, he's kind of in conflict with his own past because he grew up on a farm. He's legit. I mean, he grew up on a farm. His family's a farm, not in Minnesota, but he grew up on a farm. He represented farm country in Congress. Certainly, the first district in Minnesota is mostly rural, mostly agricultural, including. Well, I don't know. It used to be when he was there, but FarmFest is the location. I think it's in the 7th congressional, but I think it used to be in the 5th or the 1st. I'm sorry, southern Minnesota. So. But I think as a politician, he wants to be, in with the cool kids, the cool liberal kids, like his Lieutenant Governor Flanagan and the teachers union. I mean, ultimately, Tim Walz is a union teacher. Mm-hmm. That's who he really is. He's not a farmer. I mean, he grew up on the farm, but I think if you asked him or if you really looked into his soul, he's a union teacher.
That was a quick preview of the content you'll find on the American Experiment podcast. Come check out the rest of our conversation at americanexperiment.org/podcast or by searching American Experiment Podcast on YouTube or any major podcasting platform. New episodes drop every Tuesday afternoon. See you soon.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1599. August 15th, 2025. 103 degrees was the record high on this day. That was in 1936. And in 1960, on the morning of this day, it was 47 degrees. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner. Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
You guys realize there's a petition? I wish I was made privy to it. I'd sign it. There's a petition to reinstate Minnesota's original state flag, and it now has reached more than 10,000 signatures.
So here's why I didn't sign it. When you go to that, you got to enter in your email, and then for your signature to stick, you have to either make a donation, $2 minimum, or get on social media and promote the fact that they're doing this. And I opted to do neither. Therefore, they didn't get my signature.
Well, who gets the $2?
Their organization, which I have now forgotten what it's called.
Oh, let me look here. It's an Alpha News piece. Because I was going to say something else. The more you drive north in Minnesota, the more likely you are to never see the new flag.
Yeah, they're like us, Joe. When this happened, everybody went out and bought the old flag.
I've got a beauty.
Something, is it called Petition for Change? Something like that.
I'm sorry. I'm scanning this story and I'm not seeing. I didn't know that. I still think I'll sign it. Yeah, for $2, I'll sign it. Oh, yeah. It's filed on change.org.
That's what it is. Thank you.
They're approaching 11,000 signatures. I don't know. Do we know how many signatures you would need to force the change? I do not know the answer to that.
I read the piece a couple of days ago. I've forgotten everything about it now.
I have a note here from, who is this? John Joseph. Mr. Mayor, the hurricane is days away from hitting our island of Antigua. I am wondering when Garage Logic will be starting its 24-hour hurricane coverage. I need information about shelters where I can buy bottled water and where I can get sandbags. Thank you very much. You want to know why you are number one in Antigua? Take a look at the list of most popular names in Antigua. I did. They're all in Joe, Mike, John. But, John, we might be number one in Antigua, but we don't know that. We're number one in Anguilla.
Yeah, get it right, John.
We're number one in Anguilla.
We got a T-shirt to prove it.
Don't yell at our listeners, Chris.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
Can that T-shirt be purchased at the fair, I wonder?
Not at the fair, but I do believe you can still buy it online at the website, which is, of course, garagelogic.com.
And, boy, I just hate to get in the middle of this, but I've introduced it, so I am in the middle of it. We had the story of the bathroom up at Bear Lake State Park, or whatever the hell it is, that is in the running to be the best bathroom in the country. Maybe it's the best Bearhead State Park. And then Janine wrote in and said they fudged their numbers and I don't trust them. And then we got a guy who countered that yesterday. No, she countered the guy, whatever. Huh? Today we have one that says, Janine needs to settle down.
Ooh.
The local friends of the park led the effort back when they won the America's Favorite Park contest, fair and square. I voted for it early and often. I don't remember exactly how the rules were set up, but it was an online deal of some sort, and you could log in daily and vote for it more than once, and I did. As Janine said, the park won a $100,000 award from Coca-Cola, and the grant money was used to build a very nice picnic shelter that you can visit today. There was no malfeasance, food fraud, or housing fraud involved, so stuff it, Janine. Go use the nice toilet up there. Maybe you'll feel better.
Oh.
Good luck, Chris. All right.
I wouldn't go in there for 40 to 42 minutes.
Janine and Chris and all the rest, let's just leave. I'm sorry I ever brought it up. It's one of those things that I'm really sorry I brought it up. Bearhead Lake State Park, good luck to the park and their efforts to win this prize, and I hope they're successful. And I'm going to let that go.
Was it Janine or Justine?
Janine.
It kind of
not Justine.
It kind of had the feeling of Tattletale. She was kind of a little bit of a tattletale.
I know her. I think I know her.
You don't strike me as a guy that likes to use a rest stop bathroom on the road.
Oh, no, I will.
Really?
Sure.
Okay.
If I'm going number one.
Do you have a wide stance?
Depends who's in there, I guess.
Tap a toe or two?
Yeah. Are we doing a show?
Now, we are noting, as many GLers have noted, that Democrats, particularly of the DSA stripe, also known as Mysterians, they haven't offered anything in opposition to Trump. Is that a fair statement?
I would say so.
All I hear from them is their contempt for Trump.
We got to get him.
No matter what he does, let's get Trump. Omar Fateh wants to Trump-proof Minneapolis, and Walz has spent a great deal of time complaining about Trump, and Walz's daughter has spent. But where are your ideas? I'm very serious. Where are your ideas? This Mamdani in New York. What are your ideas? Well, it's not really an idea to have free stuff because somebody else has to pay for it. That's not an idea. I don't find the Mysterians very imaginative because they don't introduce good thinking about how to make the world tick a little better. So this might be further indication of it. Put together a little Mysterian roundup, have you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to visit several different places, and just keep this in mind.
Are we going on the GL jet?
We're going to start in the state of Kentucky. Now, wherever we go...
I've been to Kentucky, Chris.
You can just replace, in this case, Kentucky with Minnesota.
You could.
Or we're going to visit Chicago. You could just replace it with Minneapolis.
All right, Kentucky. I've been to Louisville. I covered one of the great races there once. Affirmed won the Kentucky Derby the year I was there.
Melissa Mormon, Joe, is an employee of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, otherwise known as KYTC. Well, Joe, she was fired after she blew the whistle on a scheme to give driver's license to illegal aliens at $200 each under the table. Mormon says that the scheme would happen 4 to 5 times per day at multiple branches across the state, totaling potentially thousands of invalid licenses in the state of Kentucky.
Stop right there. The woman who blew the whistle on this illegal activity was fired?
Yes.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
Continue.
She
I'm
was
sorry.
employed. That's okay. KYTC claims that the licenses were issued in error. After exposing the scheme, Mormon was fired. The KYTC also denied any public request for documentation, withholding nearly 2,300 records. Here is your investigation from the local television affiliate.
The state didn't want this out. Fraud inside Kentucky's transportation cabinet. Licenses issued without a driver's test.
It is an ongoing WDRB investigation, and tonight we hear from a whistleblower who says coworkers used her login to pull off this scheme.
The employees were being paid underneath the table.
They say sometimes
I need to let my supervisor know about it.
Truth hurts.
Did you ever think that this would cost you your job?
No.
And for Melissa Mormon,
I was angry for a long time.
This is one of those.
It hurts me that I'm talking about this and I actually like where I was working at.
Times.
I came into the office that day. My computer was shut down. I was told to go to the front door. Detectives came in. They interviewed me. That was it.
Mormon says she was fired 3 months after she sent this letter to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, blowing the whistle that workers at the NIA Center licensing branch were selling driver's licenses under the table to people who never took the driver's test.
Undocumented workers.
How did it work? What was going on?
The undocumented workers would come into the office in groups. They would provide them either permits or driver's license illegally. So they were bypassed without even taking the test.
How much?
$200 a person.
Up to 5 times a day, she says.
Was this an everyday thing?
Almost, yes.
WDRB was the television station that reported
that was
on
Kentucky.
This. Yep.
Little fraud in the license department.
But again, you could replace Kentucky with...
Oh, you could put it anywhere, sure. Where are we going next, Chris?
Let's check in with our friends at MSNBC, Joe.
That's in... Where's that?
Over there on that East Coast.
New York, maybe?
It's in America.
Yeah.
Joe.
All right.
An MSNBC reporter has broke from the narrative and admits, Joe, that residents in D.C. are fed up with the rampant crime.
Can I tell you who that reporter is?
You can.
That man is a Justice Department employee named Anthony Coley, who is an officer of public affairs. He is the executive vice president and managing director of communications at the Washington-based Managed Funds Association. He is a legal correspondent for MSNBC, and I think it's germane to the issue to note that he is a black fellow. And he has this to say.
And I live in Washington. This is personal for me. Many people are frustrated with crime that we see, particularly committed by juveniles in the city of Washington. People are frustrated, Willie, that when they go to CVS to buy deodorant, that they have to get it from behind locked plexiglass, right? But the response here, and let me say this, right? These are not just random anecdotes. What we see in Washington Post polling, among others, is that roughly half of D.C. residents, mostly half of D.C. residents, view this as a serious problem or an extremely serious problem.
Well, that probably had to cause a little meltdown behind the cameras at MSNBC because a fellow came on and inconveniently enough told the truth. All right, where are we going next?
Well, we're going to stay in Washington, D.C., and this was also based upon the crime data that NBC reported upon. This is a liberal D.C. election worker who is opposed to those numbers that were revealed by MSNBC, talking about the fact that crime is down because there's just one little tidbit of information that we're forgetting.
I don't know if I should be saying this on the internet, but as someone who lives in D.C., people in D.C. do not really care that Trump deployed the National Guard. Most people are quiet or or are literally like, thank God. Okay. The only people I've seen outraged are people from other states. People in D.C., quiet. I worked in a local election a few months ago. Mind you, this is a place that voted 90% for Kamala. And by far, the biggest issue for people was crime. People didn't care about anything else. People were going ham. I went to so many forums and people were like, what are you going to do about these badass kids?
All right, I'll cut to the chase. Basically, she also says the following. She said that crime was down by 30%. That's a little deceitful. Violent crime is down 30%, and they are only counting homicides as violent crime in the city of Washington, D.C.
Well,
and we alluded to that earlier in the week with, was it the former police commander that was relieved of their duties? I believe so. Being a little bit, what do you call it?
So what I'm to glean from that little visit in our Mysterian tour is that the people of Washington, D.C., the people who live there, might be welcoming this intrusion of National Guard.
Yes.
All right.
I love how she mentioned it's the people in other states
that are upset. Yeah. Orange man bad.
The Haverkamps show up in their station wagon from Missouri, and I suppose they are troubled by the presence of the law enforcement.
I believe we have enough fuel in the GL jet to head now to Chicago.
I've been to Chicago. It's the windy city, Chris.
That's right. Your mayor, Joe, Brandon Johnson, has some things to say about what he plans to do about the issues plaguing the city of Chicago.
Okay,
fine. Since you are begging, I do believe that Donald Trump is intimidated. I think you're begging.
No interruption.
So let me just answer that. I do appreciate you begging. So I would just say it like this, that the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men. And so, of course, he would speak in those petite and puerile terms because
I have no idea what he's referring to.
Well, that's because you don't understand the intellect.
I guess not.
Well, and it's because that's become the rallying cry from the left. We got to go get Trump.
Trump is the least of Chicago's problems.
Yeah.
The least.
Boy, ain't that the truth.
We might be able to get an Uber now because we're only going to Kansas City.
Kansas City, I've been to Kansas City. Some good rib joints in Kansas City. The ballparks are out in the suburbs where they should be.
I know I played this clip yesterday, but I think you insisted upon hearing it again today.
If it's the grocery store, I can't hear it enough.
City-owned grocery store in Kansas City has now shut down, Joe, after nearly $29 million from the city had been invested to keep its doors open. But don't worry, it'll probably work out anywhere else they try.
I don't think it will.
For months, the store hasn't fully been stocked. Still, person after person comes to buy groceries.
I thank the previous operator for the years they put into that, as well as their predecessor. And now we'll try to do all we can to make sure that this works.
Mayor Quinton Lucas is disappointed. He met with the store operator 2 weeks ago for hours trying to come up with a solution.
Yeah, I know there are different challenges to how a grocery store can operate.
Really?
Part of that challenge is that the city certainly has been happy to be a partner. but there's always a limit to what we will invest as well.
It comes down to money. The city owns the building and has invested nearly $29 million in the store. Still, the Sunfresh was losing money.
All of a sudden, you roll down here this morning and they're gone, and they're saying they're not coming back.
All neighbors know is there's no food here now, and they wish that wasn't the case.
I'd like to know what could be done, maybe to bring it back.
In Kansas City, Brian Johnson, KMBC 9 News.
They're struggling to understand how to work a grocery store because none of them have ever worked in an environment where there are consequences.
The number one cause for the reason it didn't work was theft.
That's right. Where are we going next, Chris?
Let's come back home.
Right here to Minnesota?
Hope Walls has made some news.
Hope Walls is the daughter of our Governor Cockwomble.
And boy, oh boy, she also is saying the number one issue plaguing the state of Minnesota is, of course, President Donald Trump.
That's our problem.
Okay, so on the topic of book talk, as well as Trump's bitch baby wussy scaredy cat behavior in D.C., it got me thinking of a book I read in college. I think it was when I was at the University of Minnesota. It was Locking Up Her Own by James Foreman Jr.
Come on, you can do
and
it.
It talks about what led to... Arguably, you should also read the new Jim Crow and then go into this one along with like a million.
Stop it. I don't know if I can get through this.
I know.
Is there?
But I think
she's actually painful to listen to.
I know.
I'll stomach it.
It's 90 seconds, and you've already made it 29.
Did she change directions mid-sentence?
Kenny, that doesn't matter. Come on.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll put
It's
up
almost
with it.
like, let her roll, Sherry. Let her keep going. She's on a roll.
It's so painful.
Keep up with her intellect.
You guys can do another 1 minute and 2 seconds. I think.
In between, but that's just 1, 2. You kind of get it. But like modern mass incarceration of like black men. And it talks about DC and the war on drugs and how all of that led up to what we're now seeing. Also note the crime rate in DC is at the lowest it's been in 30 years.
No, wait.
But this is a good book to kind of get like a larger viewpoint of this sort of stuff. And it's always been like one form of another of like the U.S. locking up people that aren't like rich and white and men. And like we're very much seeing that continuation go on.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
I would argue also with what we see with Trump, it's just like more of it. Yeah, go read that book. This was not worded very well, but
we know.
It's a really good book. But start with the new Jim Crow because that's just like the most basic level reading of that stuff.
What in God's name was she talking about?
How fun would it be to get her on the program and not let her walk off? Just sit there for an hour
and listen to her
and talk to somebody who actually has a brain.
Oh my God.
Oh, by the way, for those of you keeping score at home, I tallied 13 uses of the word like in 1 minute and 31 seconds.
Boy, she's just dumb, isn't she?
Where does she live, I wonder? I mean, she might have her own place.
Isn't she living in the governor's mansion?
Well, I don't know, and it's none of my business.
Well, the only reason I think that is because remember when she posted the video of her eating macaroni and cheese with her pajamas?
I thought she was in her own place.
Oh, I thought she was at the mansion.
Oh, maybe. Gee, it's kind of a tough... Can she live in the mansion and then come out with all of this BS?
How coddled has she been her entire life?
Pretty coddled.
Yeah.
She lives in Bozeman, Montana.
Really?
Well, what the hell is she doing out in Bozeman?
Wow.
She works as a social worker and ski instructor.
Oh, I see.
And that is your roundup.
Probably at Big Sky, huh?
A social worker and a ski instructor.
That's the AI overview, so if we trust that.
I don't trust AI.
No, we don't trust
Wouldn't it be funny if she's living in you said Montana? Is that what you said?
That's what he said, Chris.
If she's living in Montana to avoid taxes?
Yeah.
Bozeman used to be conservative.
Probably
not so much anymore.
Not if Hope's living there.
Joe, that is your Mysterian roundup.
Thanks for that Mysterian roundup.
Yep. Big Sky. You're correct, Kenny.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a hell of a drive from Bozeman up to Big Sky. Ooh, that's one you'll remember.
I wonder if she uses a gas-guzzling car.
Think she rides her bike up that hill?
Maybe she rides her bike. Pronto Pups are the official food on a stick in Garage Logic. That will be there a week from today.
Oh, that's
right.
A week
from today. Pronto Pups are the Minnesota State Fair's original food on a stick, and they remain the best food value at the fair. It's a wiener done in a bun, and it's been that way since 1947 when the Carnes family introduced the Pronto Pup to the State Fair, and it's still owned and operated by Greg and Wayne Carnes, two #1 GLers. They have 8 locations throughout the fairgrounds. Support Pronto Pups this year. You'll not only enjoy the Pronto Pup, but you'll be doing yourself a favor with the money. It's the official food on a stick in Garage Logic.
This is Reusse. You've been hearing my friend Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, for years on the radio and the Garage Logic podcast. With summer coming on, I strongly recommend you sit down with Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation on your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can benefit from Josh's years of experience navigating different market and economic conditions, and he'll always give you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice. Give Josh a call now at 952-925-5608 and book your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation. 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did meet with Josh, and tell him that Reusse sent you.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Speaking of the fair, and Suchi Boy was, special thanks to Courtyard by Marriott, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Roseville, for providing lodging for me during the run of the state fair. Courtyard, Roseville, my home, away from home, right there in the Twin Cities. I stay there 1 to 2 times a month, 12 months out of the year. I like where it's positioned. It's between both downtowns. That means all the sports and concert venues are easy to get to. It's located right off 35W in Roseville. You can take County C or County D to get there. Easy access to the fairgrounds, the U of M, all the shopping, the dining in Roseville. I never have a problem finding a place to eat or even buying groceries for that matter. The place, it's got everything you need, actually. High-speed internet, we use that. A bar, a restaurant, Starbucks right there, along with meeting space. And I know the guys give me grief, and you'll find them in all the hotels, but I like to use the washing and drying machines there at least once during my stay. I know it's not a big deal, but it's something I really appreciate. They even have a really cool courtyard, brand new courtyard. I watched them build it a couple of years ago. So keep Courtyard Roseville in mind for your next event when you're in the Twin Cities. Perfect for wedding rehearsal dinners, bridal showers, reunions, small weddings, whatever. And we have a special offer for GLers right now. Save 20% off on a weekend getaway anytime now through the end of March. Go to garagelogic.com, click on the Courtyard by Marriott link, and I thank them.
Let me finish up with Hope Walls from her outpost in Big Sky, Montana. She was able to analyze Washington, D.C. for us. What Trump said the other day when he introduced, and it's a bad optic, but that's all it is. It's a bad optic. If it solves crime, it's not a bad optic. Trump said, our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged-out maniacs, and homeless people, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. All right. Despite the sheer state of denial by the likes of Hope Walls and Democrat D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, the latter of whom described Trump's actions as unsettling and unprecedented, former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sun said it is essential to look at the bigger picture. To see these gangs of youth taking it over the Navy Yard, it doesn't surprise me that they're now going to pull these federal resources together and form a task force, he said during an appearance on Breitbart News Daily. We did this in the early 90s when I was with D.C. Police. We were able to drive down homicide rates. When Chief Lanier was chief, think about 2010 to 2014, we had a homicide rate that was maybe right around 100 or 170 a year. Now in 2023, you got 274 homicides. So you had a significant increase, he said, before addressing individuals who claim D.C. crime is going down. So when people talk about, there's a big drop, there's a drop from 23 to 2024, but it's still significant. Double what we had in around 2010, the former chief pointed out, later adding that the D.C. homicide rate is 5 to 6 times that of any other major city in the United States.
Wow.
Further, as Breitbart News detailed, White House correspondent and reporters have complained and cited instances of violent crime taking place in the nation's capital for several years, a reality that comes as Trump critics attempt to paint a picture that D.C. crime is a figment of Trump's imagination. Well, I'll certainly give it to Trump that it's not a figment of his imagination. And the reason that people like Hope Walls, who has no standing, she's just the daughter of a governor, the reason they reject this idea is because the left and the Mysterians are very complicit in crime. Their policies have resulted in the behavior of feral youth running amok. And so they can't really put themselves in position of standing firm against it when they brought it about. They're trying to act shocked and concerned, but it's too late. That horse left the barn. You know how many people are running for mayor of Minneapolis besides Fry and Fateh?
41. 23.
15.
Whoa. Wow. I wasn't that far off.
Dwayne Davis, Kevin Dwyer, Omar Fateh, Jacob Fry, Jazz Hampton. I think a mayor named Jazz would be cool. Charlie McLeod, Xavier Pauky, Troy Peterson, Andrea Revel. I've never heard of any of these people. Alejandro Richardson, Brenda Short. Wonder if she's from the famed Bob Short family, I would imagine.
I wonder if she's tall.
Yeah. Adam Terzich, Laverne Turner, Jeffrey Ann Wagner, and Kevin Ward. All right.
Brenda is not from that family.
She's not, John. Thank you.
I'm looking at a picture of her.
Thank you. Speaking of mayors and what's taking place in Minneapolis,
sorry, before you move on, 15 will have a primary, right? Or did we already have, how can 15 different people run?
Yeah, they got what you call your ranked choice voting.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Is Jazz related to Lionel?
No. I don't know, Kenny. It could be. Okay.
Interesting.
Speaking of all this.
That was for John and
yeah,
Eden.
I thought it was a good question.
Okay.
Right. Did you read about the city council now about to take action on awarding 2 new city contracts worth more than $650,000 to do community work? And involved is the Reverend Jerry McAfee, which is giving some of the council members a start, because it was McAfee, remember, who this past winter stood in front of the council and harangued them, hectored them for failing to deliver the money. And he's with McAfee as the pastor of New Salem Missionary Baptist Church and operates several nonprofits that have done violence prevention work for the city, the Downtown Improvement District, and the state for years. Such initiatives, which seek to increase public safety by means other than policing, have received tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer funds since the murder of George Floyd. Now, people who listen to this show, including euphorians who can't admit that to their neighbors, but the people who listen to this show have a very valid contention with us or me, and that is, okay, smartass, what would you do? Well, here's what I would do. If I ran for mayor of Minneapolis, I think my principal stump speech would be, I'm putting an end to all grant money ever awarded to a nonprofit. It will not exist. Instead, that money will be shifted. The money we've spent since George Floyd, tens of millions of dollars, will be shifted to the police department so that they can get their roster back up to full strength. This violence interruption was just the purchase of votes and the quieting of the community. It has been absolutely meaningless. Yeah, Kenny?
You're shooting yourself in the back, Joe.
Why?
Well, nobody in Minneapolis is going to vote for common sense like that.
Well, I know, but that's what I'd say.
I know, but that would be the end of your campaign.
Okay, then I won't be mayor, but that's what I'd say.
That's too smart for these people.
This is just absolute waste of money. It means nothing. No one has ever interrupted one moment of violence. No one has ever solved a crime with these so-called community outreach groups. It's all absolute bull ass. It's nonsense.
I really wish somebody would take that on as their platform, because you're absolutely right, but they don't stand a chance.
Well, they should, because what's missing from all politics, the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings, is common sense, the truth. This is ridiculous. You're hiring gang members to walk around the street. They all wear the same T-shirt, and they pretend they're interrupting crime. It doesn't happen. They're not interrupting anything. They're getting paid. That's the only reason they're in it. There's no other reason. They're getting free money. And it ain't free because you, the taxpayers, are providing it.
See, somewhere else. Oh, here it is. Here it is. And here's a reason why you wouldn't win. God, I can't even see.
Of course I wouldn't win.
I think it's A6. Yeah, A6 headline. Minneapolis activists question pace of police reform.
Yeah.
That's why. And by police reform, they don't mean more police.
Right.
Yeah, so you don't have a chance. You're too, that's too sensible, Joe.
We have and the other part of my speech would be, we have such a large government.
How large?
And such a large bureaucracy that there isn't one single job we shouldn't be handling in ourselves. And I guarantee you the achievement levels will be measured for success. We're no longer spending your money, your hard-earned money, those few people of you left in Minneapolis who actually work and provide the funding to run this dump. We're going to use that money to bolster the police department, and we're not spending any more money on nonprofit work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at the state level, where it's all been fraud, and it's not working at the Minneapolis city level. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention.
Excuse me, candidate.
Yes.
Are you talking all nonprofits?
Every bit of them.
Oh, okay.
Name me one you'd preserve.
I'm out. I'm right now turning off my microphone.
But the beneficiaries of those nonprofits, then they'd have to get jobs.
That's too bad.
Well, they don't want jobs.
Well, get a job.
Get a job. No.
Get a job. And then I'd be booed off the stage.
Yeah.
And then I'd go home.
Here's what's funny. I was sitting here thinking,
just in time for Rockford Files.
How would your DFL opponent spin that? Joe Souchere, he doesn't care about children.
Chris, I don't think they'd have to spin it. I mean, the voters would turn on him instantly.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
Wouldn't have a chance.
It's all BS. You're getting robbed. You're getting scammed.
Joe Souchere wants your child to starve.
Property tax is going to go up more to cover this BS.
Joe Souchere says, get a job, loser.
Joe Souchere hates the homeless.
Yeah, that's how they'd spin it. That's exactly how they'd spin it. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Crime has not declined in Minneapolis.
Joe Souchere hates police.
No, they would say Souchere loves police.
Well, I mean, that's not an attack ad, though. I mean, come on.
No. Saying that I love police in Minneapolis, that would be an attack ad.
True.
Yeah.
You're right, it would.
Yeah. Joe Souchere wants police to kill everybody that disagrees with him.
Now you're on the right track.
There you go.
Souchere wants the police fully funded. What about the children?
No, Joe is in favor of police brutality. Yeah. That's how they'd spin that.
Joe Souchere doesn't want your kid to read.
Oh, they're already doing a good job of not being able to read. Third graders in this state can't even read.
That's so sad.
I know 2-year-olds who can read. Well, not really, but they can. They know what it means.
Better than Rookie, anyway.
Oh,
since he's not here.
That's true. Well, that's a good time to tell you about an appearance at the State Fair by the Minnesota Center of the American Experiment. They're going to be there a week from tomorrow talking about education, talking about reading. They'll be talking about how schools are not as good as they once were in this state and not as good as you think or you've been told. And it's statewide. For the second year in a row, less than half of Minnesota students are meeting grade-level benchmarks in reading and math. something isn't working. What have we done in this state? Well, we try more money. We do that every year. That doesn't work. We tried more bureaucracy. That doesn't work. The administration is so ridiculously top-heavy, they don't accomplish anything. What about the center of the American Experiment's idea? Put the families first. American Experiment has a program called 7K for Kids. It would give parents control of $7,000 of their for per child per year. I would imagine that would be a tax deduction or what. Well, they're going to be at the fair. Talk to them. How does this work? 7K for Kids. That way you could choose the best education for your kids. Public, because there's some great public education. Private, charter, homeschool, whatever fits. Learn more at 7kforkids.com or americanexperiment.org, or visit them at the fair a week from tomorrow.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
The very first thing that I would stick in my secure storage shipping container would be my 64 Glastron jet flight. No mouse would ever get in that thing again. No mice, no critters, no hail damage, no sleet, snow, not even Johnny Sneakums trying to steal that thing. If you need secure storage, anywaystorage.com is here to help. They have a variety of shipping containers. You can buy them or you can rent them. And by the way, you don't have to use them exclusively for storage. You can make it into a little office or a little cabin. I don't know what you're thinking, but anywaystorage.com can make that happen. Well, this is a Minnesota business. Not some, you're not getting some thing from some dude in Jersey, okay? You can actually go to one of their locations and pick out your unit. We're talking Grand Rapids, Stewartville, Ellendale. That means all of the state and part of the Dakotas, Iowa, Wisconsin, Canada covered. 10-footers, 20-footers, and 40-footers. Sealed, lockable, perfect for folks that just need secure storage, or maybe you've got a place up north, you have hunting property, you don't want to drag it back and forth every weekend. Get yourself one of these shipping containers and store it in there. And like I said, view it, pick it out yourself before you write the check, and they will drop it off, deliver it right to the place of your choosing. Get to that website and then start making plans to acquire your own secure storage shipping container. Again, anywaystorage.com.
Here's Johnny Heidt in his newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Kenny Olson.
Yes, sir.
I thought it was a very good question, and I've looked up the answer. Jazz Hampton of Minneapolis is the son of Slide Hampton, who was a distant cousin of Lionel Hampton.
I'll be
That's
damned.
awesome.
Look at you, Kenny Olson.
Let's go Jazz.
According to the Encyclopedia of Indianapolis. And that comes from AI, so...
Didn't you think, John, when you first heard his name, okay, his first name is Jazz and his last name is Hampton? There's got to be a connection.
Immediately what I thought of.
Yeah.
Many
Me and Rivers did too.
Yep.
I'm a creep.
You guys don't even know who Lionel Hampton is, for God's sake.
John, I happen to know who he is.
Do you? Who is he,
He
Joe?
was a
Here's your quiz.
famous baseball player in the Negro Leagues. No, he was a jazz artist.
Oh, what did he play? What
Xylophone.
Oh, vibraphone. That's kind of close. Close enough.
Close enough. I'm
Give me
impressed.
points for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for me, of course, not that anybody cares, he gave Wes Montgomery his first break because he was in Indianapolis, and Wes played in his big band in the late 40s.
I could talk for an hour about Wes Montgomery and some of the songs and cover songs that he's done.
Yeah. Well, the jazz stuff.
Why don't you do
before
that on
cover,
the crappy coffee shop?
The jazz songs before the cover stuff, Kenny, were brilliant. And then he went pop, they still sounded great. They were amazing.
Well, that's where the money was, John.
And he unfortunately died too early. Wes Montgomery, easily my favorite guitar player.
Yep.
In life, ever?
No contest. No contest.
Well, you've never
Joe,
revealed to us before who your favorite is.
I have told many
Joe,
people that.
You listen to Wes Montgomery, it's like taking something to relax you before the doctor does that examination,
Yeah.
But see, now that's the later pop stuff. The early jazz stuff, he was stunningly brilliant. Chops up to blicky, bleaky, bleaky. All right, let's quit talking jazz now, I guess. Those were in the 50s and 60s.
Okay, great.
Yeah, all right then. In news, God, that was fun. Can we do that again someday?
Sure.
I enjoyed that.
Wait till Jazz gets elected. Mary will never shut up.
There you go. We'll talk jazz all day, every day. All right. I'm going to skip that story now because it's too serious. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty providing an update on Thursday about a grand jury indictment against Vance Belter, the man accused of shooting 2 Minnesota state lawmakers and their spouses. Belter was previously charged in Hennepin County on state charges of second-degree murder and attempted second-degree murder before Moriarty pursued a grand jury indictment. The full list of charges now includes first-degree premeditated murder, first-degree premeditated murder, 2 counts, attempted first-degree murder, 2 counts, attempted first-degree murder, another count, a felony cruelty to an animal, and impersonating a police officer. Belter is charged in federal court with 2 counts of capital murder in connection with the deaths of the Hortmans, 2 counts of stalking and gun-related charges for the shootings of the Hortmans and the Hoffmans, and the attempted shooting of the Hoffman's daughter, Hope. Belter has already entered a not guilty plea last week in the federal charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office says a trial may not take place until 2026 or 2027. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office said that prosecution of Belter will resume as soon as they are done with charges for the federal charges.
I want to say something about Mary. You know, we've had a lot of fun with her name over the years, Moriarty and things like that. It really is a simple name to pronounce because it's M-O-R-I-A-R-T-Y, Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple, Moriarty. Thanks, John.
Okay, sure. DFL State Senator Tu Zhang confirms he was arrested and released overnight on suspicion of DWI. A spokesperson for the State Patrol said a trooper stopped Zhang in the area of Highway 36 and McKnight Road around 2:40 on Thursday because he was weaving out of the lane and not using turn signals. Zhang was booked into Ramsey County Jail on suspicion of third-degree DWI at 3:52 a.m. and released at 6:39 a.m. A breath test indicated Zhang had a blood alcohol content of 0.09. Zhang released a statement yesterday saying, while driving home after attending a family gathering, I was pulled over near my home and was arrested for suspicion of driving while intoxicated. I take full responsibility for my actions and sincerely apologize to my constituents and the people I've let down. I want to thank law enforcement for doing their job to keep the roads safe. Today I've begun the work of talking to my family and to my Senate colleagues about the situation. Zhang represents parts of the East Metro, including Maplewood and Little Canada. He had previously been sentenced to 1 year probation for a DWI charge in January of 2022.
I don't know about you guys, but I've dozens of times have left family gatherings at 3:30 a.m.
It sounds like he maybe should seek in-house treatment.
Yeah.
He's got a problem. Is there going to be any fallout?
No.
At the Capitol?
Absolutely not. The Capitol is the land of no consequences. We got a burglar stay in office, voting for herself.
Voting for himself. I love that. Governor Tim Walz yesterday announcing he's authorized emergency assistance for northwest and west central Minnesota after the storm damage that occurred earlier this summer. The funding and assistance will go to Beltrami, Cass, Clearwater, Hubbard, Mahnomen, Norman, and Todd counties, as well as the White Earth Band of Chippewa. The aid will help rebuild public infrastructure that was damaged by storms on June 21st. Walz had previously issued a peacetime emergency to provide emergency assistance. The new Shields Mega Sporting Goods store that'll be built in Blaine will come with a Ferris wheel and an aquarium, and now an $84 million tax incentive package. The Blaine City Council yesterday took a first step, on Monday, took a first step toward eventually issuing bonds for the roughly 250,000 square foot store, as well as a 750 stall parking ramp for public use within the city's development of a new downtown at 105th Avenue. The council also approved up to $63 million in bonds for a nearly $71 million 5,000-seat baseball stadium and event center. The measure passed without opposition. For Shields, city officials expect the 20-year bonds to be paid back with sales tax revenue generated from a yet-to-be-approved special taxing district. The city plans to ask state lawmakers in an upcoming session to establish a sales tax district in the 105th Avenue area with a proposed extra 3% tax on food, lodging, and event tickets, as well as 1.5% tax on retail goods. Construction on the $150 million Shields project could begin in spring of 2026 with a store opening slated for May of 2028.
Is Shields an outdoor equipment store?
Sporting goods, yeah.
Everything.
Are they national?
Aren't they out of North Dakota, Johnny?
Yeah, they started in North Dakota and now they've moved out.
I love Shields. It's an awesome store. It really is.
It is.
Ferris wheel?
Oh, yeah.
Did I hear you say they're building a downtown?
A downtown area, yeah. That area is it's undeveloped. It's along 65, but to the a bit to the east.
On 100, like right around 105th.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff there, but it's not fully developed, so there's plenty of room.
Johnny, who's the ballpark going to be for? The high school?
That I tried to look that up, and I could find nothing.
Because I know they have a very good town baseball team. What's a town ball story? Yes. They have a very good town baseball.
Who does, Blaine?
Blaine, the Blaine Fusion.
They're probably full of college pros.
But I can't imagine they'd sell 5,000 tickets for a game.
That's the part that sent me for a loop and why I went looking. I thought, well, who's going to play there?
Because CHS is what, 7,500?
Okay, you've hooked me. I have a town ball question for you.
Yes. Finally.
What's the biggest town ball stadium in Minnesota, capacity-wise?
Ours is probably up there because we used to be
ours?
Faribault. Because we used to have it used to be a minor league facility.
I think you're not answering the question. What's the largest and what is the capacity?
I would probably, I'm willing to be helped out here, but of the ones I've attended, I would put Faribault.
How many people?
We can fit 1,500 people in our stands.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Shields would be the biggest.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
John, as you know, you're in that neighborhood. Shouldn't they think about putting bridges over Highway 65?
They're doing that. Remember, the project has already started, and it's supposed to be finished right by 2029.
Because that's safety considerations, right?
Oh, there's
65 is a death trap, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
they are. They passed that last year. I'll look it up during a break, but yeah,
that's Sports Center. That's a huge footprint. And then the airport, it butts up against the Blaine airport down there, which also butts up to almost Highway 10.
And that will be in the general area, actually. Yeah. All of this. Shields is cool, Joe, in that they have all the nifty golf clothing, the new ones.
Yeah.
I hate boring golf shirts.
Well, yeah.
And they have the new.
Can you get a fishing rod there?
What I like,
guns,
Joe, is you can buy a soccer ball and then you can buy a shotgun to shoot the soccer ball.
There you go. Exactly.
Pretty cool store.
You know, I don't think I did your question enough service.
I don't want you keeping up. I gave you an inch, and I knew this would happen.
But you know what, GLers, please do me a favor. If you find one bigger than 1,500, please email Joe with your town ball questions. gljoe@garagelogic.com.
Right to Joe.
Thank you.
I was thinking, Chris, he gave you your one big chance, and you kind of hemmed and hawed.
I've never thought about that, to be
John,
honest.
he stepped on it, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if there's one that's bigger than.
Well, there isn't. So there.
I don't think so.
That'll be that joint on the way to Red Wing, right?
Meesville's up there, yeah. Red Wing's got a big ballpark, too.
Meesville, I've seen that. That doesn't hold 500 people.
No, I don't think it does either. But Red Wing's got a nice big grandstand.
That's great. I really don't want to continue this.
Chris is going to spend the whole rest of the show thinking
almighty.
of ballparks.
Town ball tour.
Playing the role of Matthew today.
Oh, where
Chris,
is he?
Don't we have a book? Remember?
Yes, Mueller. Todd Mueller wrote a wonderful book about out. You know what? Great, John. Great reminder. I have that book. I'll look it up myself.
It isn't. He did a wonderful job.
I love that
right
book.
over here. I could grab it.
Well, let's plug it. What's the title of that thing?
Oh, God.
Town Ball Parks of Minnesota.
Oh, it's a wonderful book. Todd Mueller.
Yeah. If you find one on eBay or whatever on secondary, grab it because he stopped publishing them.
And seriously, what a great look at rural Minnesota.
It's really, he did a wonderful job.
I'm not going to a ball game unless I can sit on my tailgate and drink 8 million Coors.
That book would accommodate you mightily.
Yes. And Tom, the likes of me.
To answer your question, Matthew is throwing axe today.
In national and international stories, President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are set to meet at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. They will meet, according to this story, at 2:30 our time, although I have seen 2 also listed as
coming up shortly, huh, John?
Yeah, that to another hour from when we're recording here. They will be talking, of course, about the war in Ukraine. The talk, which will be conducted one-on-one with 2 translators present, will be followed by lunch with their delegations and a joint press conference. The country in Putin's crosshairs, of course, as we know, Ukraine, will have no representation at this meeting.
There is someone by the name of Lord Bibo. I don't follow this person on social media, but the Russian journalists that arrived in Alaska were not placed in a hotel, but in the lobby of the Alaska Airlines Center Arena. Mm-hmm. And instead of beds, there are small cots that are 2 in each room.
Really?
It basically looks like a holding cell for people trying to come to the country.
I'll be darned.
One of the main negotiators, apparently one of Putin's main aides, showed up in a sweatshirt with only CCCP on the sweatshirt, which is kind of considered an insult because it represents all the territories that Russia. So he's trolling, obviously, Putin guy.
Yeah.
So. Brian Schwab, the Attorney General for the District of Columbia, filed a lawsuit in federal court in Washington this morning challenging the Trump administration's takeover of the Metropolitan Police Department. The lawsuit challenges Trump's Monday executive order as well as Attorney General Pam Bondi's Thursday order, claiming federal control of the police force in Washington. Schwab's office argued that the orders exceed the limits on requesting services from D.C., which they say can only be done on a temporary basis under emergency circumstances. By declaring a hostile takeover of MPD, the administration is abusing its limited temporary authority under the Home Rule Act, infringing on the district's right to self-governance, and putting the safety of D.C. residents and visitors at risk, according to Schwab. Bondi announced yesterday the DEA administrator, Terry Cole, would be the emergency police commissioner of MPD for the duration of the takeover of the city. Meanwhile, Attorney General Bondi said yesterday on X that a Justice Department employee, have you seen this video, has been terminated after he threw a sandwich at a federal law enforcement officer.
Sure did.
He throws the sandwich and then he runs like nobody's going to catch him.
Kind of like a Walls would run, kind of a Dom DeLuise thing.
It was. Bondi posted, "If you touch any law enforcement officer, we will come after you. I just learned that this defendant worked at the Department of Justice." And then she put, "No longer." Not only is he fired, he's been charged with a felony. This is an example of the deep state we've been up against for 7 months as we work to refocus DOJ. A criminal complaint filed Wednesday named Sean Charles Dunn as the individual who allegedly threw the sandwich. The 37-year-old Dunn was an international affairs specialist in the DOJ's criminal division, according to the Associated Press.
Wonder what he hoped to accomplish throwing a sandwich. That was kind
apparently
of
he yelled.
I asked for
he
mail.
Yelled at them saying, "Get out of my city."
Get
that
out
kind
of
thing.
here.
Get out of my city. And there were other words attached that I can't say. But
then he pranced away.
Do we know what kind of sandwich it was?
It was from Subway. That's all it said.
Oh man, I wouldn't waste that. I like Subway. You know, if it was a homemade peanut butter and jelly, I can see it.
Yeah, but if it's an Italian BMT.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on, man.
Chicken, bacon, and ranch, that's the only go-to.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go Italian.
I bet
Italian's
he was
not
hungry
bad.
once he got to the jail, huh? Probably didn't feed him once he got put in jail.
What do they say, John? 3 hots and a cot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A political standoff in Texas over proposed House maps that could hand Republicans 5 new seats is poised to enter a new phase today, while heavily Democratic California plans to release its own new maps intended to erase all but a sprinkle of the state's GOP House districts in the fight over control in Congress. The maneuvering in the nation's 2 most populous states underscored the stakes for both parties in the narrowly divided House that could determine the fate of President Trump's agenda in the second half of his term. Texas Democrats yesterday moved closer to ending the nearly 2-week walkout that has blocked the GOP's redrawing of U.S. House maps before the 2026 election. The Democrats announcing they will return to the state if Texas Republicans end a special session and California releases its own redrawn map proposal, both of which are expected to happen today. However, Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott then is expected to call another special session to push through new maps. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom said his state will hold a November 4th special election to seek approval of redrawn districts intended to give Democrats 5 more U.S. House seats in a counterpunch to undercut any gains that are made by Republicans in Texas.
Because that's what's hurt in California right now.
Yeah, both states. In fact, a Republican legislator from California, Kevin Kiley, said that, you know what, both parties should just drop this. Why don't we do something that people want us to do?
Actually, yes, want to get done.
Yep, that'd be nice.
A state judge in Texas has appointed a receiver to take over and sell conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's InfoWars assets to help pay the more than $1 billion he owes in legal judgments to the families of victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. The order by Judge Maya Guerra Gamble in Austin on Wednesday has the potential to shut Jones out of his studio in the coming days. It also appeared to restart an effort by The Onion to buy InfoWars and its assets and turn the platform into a parody site. On his Daily Show Thursday, Jones called the Texas court order improper and vowed to keep broadcasting even if he's locked out. He added he's got another studio already set up in the event of such a scenario. Jones said he expected InfoWars to be sold to someone or some entity that would keep it on the air. The Sandy Hook families won nearly $1.5 billion in 2022 against Jones and InfoWars' parent company in lawsuits filed in Connecticut and Texas accusing him of defamation and inflicting emotional distress. They sued over Jones's repeated comments that the 2012 school shooting in Connecticut that killed 20 first graders and 6 educators was a hoax. Victims' relatives testified in court about being terrorized by Jones's supporters.
Is this idiot paid them $1 yet, I wonder?
I don't know.
What was his motivation for doing that?
Attention.
Well, he's nuts. He'll say anything. He's nuts.
He didn't take into account the hurt he was going to cause?
No, he did not.
Wow.
When was that? When was Sandy Hook? 2020?
2012, wasn't it?
2012.
2012. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought I heard 2020.
I only remember that because it was right after William was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2012 shooting, and the judgments came in 2022. So,
He did it ostensibly as a means of showing how urgently the left is opposed to guns, that they would even stage this to show you how bad guns are. That was the theory behind it. Well, he's an idiot.
Yes, he is.
No one likes, I got another jazz story here. No one likes being stuck on an airplane longer than absolutely necessary. So when a famous jazz group aboard an Alaskan Airlines flight was asked to help lift the spirits of their fellow delayed passengers with a live musical interlude, they happily busted out horns and played the unlikely venue. It's a now viral video. Dave Koz and the Summer Horns performed their rendition of Stevie Wonder's You Haven't Done Nothing in an impromptu concert amidst a slew of delays, diversions, and timed-out staff en route from St. Louis to the next tour stop.
I would have busted a window and crawled out.
It was wonderful. How long would you have lasted?
Crawled out of the plane.
Not us, Reusse.
Yeah. Well, he would have taken the horns, smashed the horn over his knee, and said, "I'm sorry."
It was wonderful. Watch the video. It was great. The moment took place in the wee hours early Tuesday morning on the tarmac after their flight was diverted to Boise, Idaho. That's when Koz said most people were at their breaking point. He said a wonderful flight attendant stepped in to see if the group would want to provide some in-flight entertainment. Saxophonist Marcus Anderson said it was a great vibe. It was great energy. People were clapping along. Little kids recorded the video and were already watching it back in their seats after they finished. When we got the video content from people, I said, "Hey, Dave, I'm going to post it and share it." By the time we got off the plane, it had 200,000 views. Within hours, it hit over 2 million views on social media. Koz said after 40 years of the music industry, that moment reminded him he's still, quote, humbled by the power of music.
Oh, I thought that was a sex. I was going to say.
You know what? That was nice because at least no violence broke out.
Can you tell me the style in which they played, John? Was it bebop or that horrible New Orleans jazz, or what? Just
horrible
traditional
New Orleans
horrible
jazz.
New Orleans,
or just traditional jazz?
It was. I would call it more of a bebop thing.
So I'd be down with that.
I'm sure it was.
Do you know the song?
It helped the people.
Yeah.
It calmed everybody down.
If you know that song, they played the melody, and then they played.
Music
like the trombone
soothes the
played a
savage
solo,
beast.
Yes,
et cetera, et cetera. So
you want to get Patrick?
What would have been worse, that or a crying baby as you're stuck on a plane for about 2 or 3 hours?
I would volunteer to take the baby because I'm a baby whisperer.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go get Patrick?
That ain't happening. That kid's mine.
No,
hell no.
The kid's going to reject it, but the mother might try it.
Let's talk about North American Banking Company.
Why don't you do it?
Why don't you tell me how to talk about North American Banking Company? I got to give a shout out, by the way. I went to the Roseville location. This was Wednesday afternoon. I had to get some documents for some personal stuff. And I got to give a shout out to Vivian. I needed a lot of documents. She sat there and went through 20 minutes of my stuff, never complained one time, even hand delivered everything in a beautiful folder for me. She did such an awesome job. And that's the kind of personal service you're going to get at North American Banking Company. So, Vivian, you are an absolute rock star. And if you stop in at the Roseville location, ask for her because she's awesome. Anyway, but that's the kind of thing that they do at North American Banking Company. And that's why I decided to make the switch from my big national bank and wanted to take my business to North American Banking Company. And like I've been mentioning, they have 6 fantastic Twin Cities locations to serve you. Like I said, I went to the one in Roseville, but you can also see them at 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. And they do offer all of the services as the other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, maybe finance a new home renovation project, or perhaps get that new car that you've been thinking about and trying to hide from your wife, that's fine too. nabankco.com to learn more. That's where you can get your start. And they are always here to help. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other big banks, but you're going to get, as I just experienced, the unparalleled service of a community bank. So once again, check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Who's Jimmy Abdo?
You know, I had the same question until about 10:30 last night when I got a nasty email ripping the hell out of the Star Tribune for not following this young man. Jimmy Abdo, a member at Minnesota Valley, a 19-year-old kid, Edina High School, freshman at Gustavus, is in the national quarterfinals of the U.S. Amateur at Olympic Club. He came in ranked 4,500 among world amateurs.
Wow!
And he made they have. Well, they play down to 64, and there's 320 some that play, the tee off. What's the number? 320 or so. So he made it a tie for 61st. I don't know if he had to win a playoff or not. But he has had these. I'm trying to follow it now. Some people are covering it, and he had like 2 1-up miracle wins in the previous 2 rounds, and I thought he was playing Daly's kid when I read the bracket, but I read the bracket wrong. He's playing some guy named Harrington or something today.
Is he alive right now?
Well, they will be later, but they've
no. Is he alive in the tournament?
Yes.
Okay.
He's in the quarterfinals,
all right.
And they moved them back so they could have him on the Golf Channel like tonight. So he'll be on. They got to start like at 5:00 tonight or
I'll watch it.
Our time. But he's he was. I had never heard of the kid. I'm trying to find something out about him now. But I called Edina, and he's not a member there. He's a member at Minnesota Valley. So anyway, it's a phenomenal story, and it's just. And if you look around the golf websites, they've been following this. But of course, with the buyouts and everything, we don't really have a golf writer at the Star Trombone anymore. So it's kind of escaped under the radar until we started getting emails from two or three angry subscribers who were upset that we had not followed this whatsoever. And so I think what they must, to get from 300 and something, they played 36 holes, right? I think they do from down to 64.
I saw some of it last night on the Golf Channel.
So that's Monday, Tuesday, right? They mean Monday, Tuesday. So then Wednesday, Thursday, they can't play that many rounds.
I don't know.
Maybe they qualified over the weekend and then they start the 64 team. I don't know how it works, but that's a phenomenal story.
Wonderful.
And, Gusty, he was a Gusty, and I got a hunch that he ends up being a semifinalist in the U.S. Amateur. He might be getting a few offers from larger colleges.
Pat, I was just going to ask. I didn't know Gus Davis had that prestigious of a golf.
They all got a golf program.
Everybody's got a golf
Well, I
program.
understand.
It doesn't cost much for a golf program. You got 7 guys, and they carry their own bag, and you pretty much make them pay their own. I don't think we give away a lot of golf scholarships in the MIAC. So, I'm trying to get a hold of the coach, but I've discovered that my Gustavus SID buddy isn't working there anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. But
Pat,
anyway,
I got a note for you to read. Have you ever been humiliated in your long career? I know I have.
at least 3 or 4 times in 60 years, I'd say.
Well, Pat, a fellow down in Illinois named Scott Johnson wrote this email. We were talking the other day on GL about all the car windows that are being smashed around town.
Yes.
And this guy wrote, the story about the gang of burglars breaking into the cars reminds me of an incident almost 20 years ago when we were living in Bloomington. Much like Kenny, I've always followed the practice of not keeping anything valuable in my car and not locking it so that thieves don't have to break anything to get in. One night, a group of thieves, likely teenagers, went through our neighborhood, burgling all the cars parked outside, including mine. Because my car was unlocked, no damage was done, and because I didn't have anything of value in it, nothing was stolen. In fact, instead of taking anything, they left me a present. Before they hit my car, the thieves had stolen a bunch of CDs from my next-door neighbor's car. By the time they got to my car, they had apparently gone through the CDs because they decided to discard 2 CDs that they didn't want and left them in my front seat. And what, you ask, were the selections that didn't interest even a common thief? Slim Whitman's greatest hits and the best of Saturday morning sports talk with Joe and Pat.
I knew that was coming. Now, this guy isn't just pranking us.
He said it's a true story. I believe it.
True story. I do too.
Which volume? Did he say which volume?
Slim Whitman was vastly underrated. Did you ever hear Slim?
We predicted you would say that.
Yes.
Yes, right. Yes. What? I don't know. I don't know if he was kind of a crooner, wasn't he, Slim Whitman?
He was a yodeler tenor, high tenor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it wasn't a country. Was he country? It wasn't really country, was he?
Who am I thinking of? Who rode the bomb in the war movie with Peter Sellers?
Slim Pickens.
Well, that's Slim Pickens.
Slim Pickens. Somebody's got to go back and get a bleep load of dime.
Slim Pickens.
And he also, the 2 black fellas were just sinking into the mud there on the railroad track.
Sing us some of those songs.
He said, damn, we almost lost a $250 hand car.
The movie that could not be made today.
Not even the. You know what they would do with that script?
Oh my God!
They would put it in a room with a bomb. That's what.
It was a wonderful, wonderful script.
God, it was. It's,
Number of the boys last night had a chance to win a game for your ball club, but they didn't come through.
Let me rip the manager, will you? I'm a Rocco apologist, but Eddie Julian, 2 years ago, looked like he had a chance. Since then, he's been terrible. And last year, he wouldn't swing at the ball, so they kept calling him out on strikes. And then he ended up in St. Paul, and he's a hack at second base. There's no question about it. But last night, he takes the best swing he's made in 10 years and hits a gigantic home run off Skubal, the best left-handed pitcher in baseball, right?
Yep.
So now you go to the bottom of the 10th, and you start with the runner at second, and they didn't score in the top of the 10th, so you need a hit. So the first hitter is Eddie Julian, filled with confidence. He comes running into the dugout, and Rocco sends the guy who looks like he was in a disco movie, Mickey Gasper, with that terrible mustache and a terrible swing and a terrible player, sends him up there to bunt the guy over to third. Well, he managed. The other day he tried to bunt, and he fouled 3 of them off and went back to the dugout. This time he got the bunt down. And then he's got Austin Martin, kid from St. Paul. He got him bunting, too. Rocco, since Friday, a week ago Friday at 5 p.m., it's been all about development. It's been all about testing your young guys. You gave up. You gave away everybody. You can't be that stupid to bunt the guy to third base. And Julian's sitting there like he got hit with a wet rag at the dugout because he can't believe it. He goes running off the field after the top of the 10th. Can't wait to get to the bat rack, and Rocco sends up Mickey Gasper, for God's sakes. I didn't think it was a good move, okay?
I'm gathering that.
I share Patrick's outright. I could not believe it.
What, was bunting a smart play?
I didn't mind the fact that they bunted the guy to third because he's the winning run, but let Julian do it. Because even if you don't score, keep him in the lineup, because Mickey Gasper's hitting $135 for his life.
Why bunt? Get ahead.
Yeah. I watched it. I was puzzled by the bunt.
Oh, God almighty. You got a new team. You got all these. Why is this guy in the big leagues? Mickey Gasper, he's got photos. I know that. It's something. It's unbelievable. They got,
Well, Pat, I told you the best line I ever heard all season. I was in attendance the second game of the year in St. Louis, and I was sitting next to a guy who had been overserved saying, "Who the F is Mickey Gasper?"
You know what? That's what I was saying last night. So, anyhow,
yes,
it was,
Rocco insists they're still trying to be in contention.
Oh, God, we're not out of it yet. Here we're waiting.
I think so.
I just wait, and I hope tonight is the night we have the Justin Topa entrance song with the whole.
Is he my guy, the little chef?
No, that's not. Justin Topa's been with us for a while.
Yeah. Who's the guy I'm thinking of? He pitched the other night.
Ramirez,
yeah.
Ramirez, he didn't look good last night.
No, he did not.
I think he's a little tired out from, he's a little hefty. I think you might want to pitch him about every 4 days. You got to get his energy back up. He didn't look too good last night. Did you see that wild pitch he threw, Reavers?
What's that? Sorry.
Erasmo?
Oh, I did.
See Erasmo's wild pitch?
It was pretty bad.
About 18 inches off the plate.
It was pretty bad.
That wasn't good anyway.
An odd strike zone last night too.
Yeah, that guy had a tough night.
That guy had a. I think he's a fill in because you get a lot of those at this time. And Rocco, I do think Rocco was right on the foul ball, don't you?
Yes, he was.
It did hit the dirt, but I think Rocco.
I think it hit the dirt, but I don't think his bat touched the ball.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Rocco, Jeffers acted like he thought he did. But anyway, I think Rocco was embarrassed by the whole thing. That's why he threw the tantrum, I think. So anyway.
It was a pretty good tantrum.
Not bad.
Yeah, he did.
He threw the hat, and he didn't go pick it up. He left it out
toss.
there.
You get the hat, yeah.
The bat boy go get it.
Mm-hmm. And I know I can tell you this about Rocco, though. I do like the guy, but it was family day. It was family week when the Yankees. That was the family trip, right?
Oh boy!
So the plane is just. somebody said to Rocco, so he's got the 3 little kids, right? And the wife, the poor wife, she might have went with them. They might have had somebody. But they said, did you bring your family? He said, are you kidding me? Having those 3 kids running around a hotel room in New York, I don't think so. So anyway.
Why don't I see you Monday?
All right, let's do it. Hey, Corey Koske going into the Hall of Fame Sunday, and tomorrow, 5 members of the 1965 team will be at the game and get honored. Cott, Tony, Jim Perry, Dick Stigman, and then Rancy, who must have pitched like 2 innings for him or something like that. I'll have to look that up. But my cousin Al couldn't make it. He's 96 and not in good health.
Al Worthington.
Not in good enough health to travel from Birmingham.
How many living members are still around, Pat, of the 65 team?
There's a couple, 3 more, but Jimmy Hall never comes back to anything. He's in his 80s, and Al, I looked it up. Al is the 7th oldest living Major League Baseball player.
Really?
At 96, yeah. So.
All right, sir. Thank you.
See ya. Goodbye.
We're going to go to Kenny, aren't we?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Before we go to break, I want to just mention the big 3 here. Every week we receive email testimonials about how Seafoam product, one of the products, came to the rescue. And the website seafoamworks.com is full of these testimonials. We call it the emergency survival kit that every GLer should have in your daily driver. Number 1, a spray bottle or 2 of Bugs Be Gone. Carry them with you. The Seafoam engine treatment. Keep those cylinders happy. Give them a slurp every now and then. And, of course, the amazing Deep Creek penetrating oil works better than any other product on the market. As for the Bugs Be Gone, I'm not stretching the truth even a little bit here. It's absolutely amazing. Works as promised. That one-time hassle of trying to scrub these bugs away makes it super easy. The motor treatment has been providing relief to cylinders for decades. You can use it in your daily driver, your boat, your small engine, your big engine, tractor, diesel, gas, it doesn't matter. And, of course, the Deep Creek penetrating oil. It's all you'll ever need for lubing, restoring, and displacing moisture. It's the car care kit for GLers. Buy all 3. Give them as a gift. You'll be loved and appreciated for your efforts. Get them at seafoamworks.com, our own local company with a global reach, Seafoam.
Finally, thank God today is Friday. TGTI Friday. It's the scramble!
You damn right it is. And what better way to celebrate this week's scramble than with our friends at Harmony Spirits, located in Harmony, Minnesota. I was just on their Facebook page, by the way. How about this? Weekends are better in Bluff Country, Joe Souchery, and this one is packed with local charm, celebrations, and small town fun. Kick things off just 5 miles down the road in Canton, Minnesota, where Lumberyard Marketplace is going to be celebrating its grand opening and ribbon cutting with our friends at Harmony Spirits.
Wonderful.
There is nothing better than a small town festival in Minnesota. You cannot convince me otherwise. And that's the neat thing. So if you're in the area, stop in for that, but also stop in at the tasting room in Harmony, Minnesota. They always do a wonderful job of serving up handcrafted cocktails, and that menu rotates throughout the entire summer. Loyal GLer Charlie, he stopped in at Harmony Spirits. What was this? 4 days ago. Thanks, Charlie. You're the man. And he posted about it as well. It looks like he had a something with orange juice, it looks like. I'm going to guess it was a screwdriver.
Probably.
But you can sample anything. It doesn't matter whether you're a fan of the rum, the gin, the bourbon, the whiskey, anything. And also, if you stop in, say hi to Larry and Damon and ask for a tour where the GL flag is proudly displayed right there in the tasting room. Also, if you're not able to make it down, go into your local liquor store and ask for the Harmony brand by name. It's handcrafted cocktails made right here in our own backyard in Harmony, Minnesota. And look for more car shows and events coming up. And make sure that you stop in and say hi to the crew and let them know that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Mpumalanga Province, South Africa, from the Traveling Lyman's. I want to remind you, by the way, you can follow the Lyman's adventures over there in the game preserve, worldwidewaftage.com. Are you aware of that, Reavers?
I am.
On this day.
We referenced it the other day on the Scramble, Worldwide Waftage.
Wonderful.
Today is August 15th.
Well, on this day, in 1875, Bishop Thomas L. Grace dedicated the Church of St. Michael in Stillwater, with Father John Ireland presiding. The press of the day acclaimed it as the finest church in the state. I wonder if it's still there.
I don't know.
On this day,
August 15th,
in 1933, the Barker Karpus gang robbed South St. Paul's Swift & Company of its $30,000 payroll. Police officer Leo Pavlak died in the ensuing shootout.
Ma Barker was not the genius behind that gang. It was Karpus, yeah.
Wasn't it Alvin Karpus?
Yep. He was the smart one.
On this day,
on August 15th.
I knew where Ma Barker's gang had a house in Matamidi.
They screwed it up for all of the gangsters that were living in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area because they broke the code.
Yeah, they broke the code because the code was, if you don't cause any grief here, you can live here.
Yep.
But, by not causing grief here, that meant you don't go down and rob South St. Paul Swift Company.
Right, correct.
On this day,
August 15th, Joe.
Well, on this day in 2011, President Obama started a 3-day bus tour with a town hall meeting in Cannon Falls.
I remember that.
After the meeting, his motorcade traveled down Highway 52 through Zumbro, Rochester, Chatfield, Fountain, Preston, and Harmony.
And Harmony.
Yeah,
I was just going to mention that.
On its way to the seed exchange in Decorah, Iowa, where Obama pretended to understand what he was looking at. And then on this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history.
August 15th.
That's right. In the year 2006, Corin Robinson led police on a high-speed chase down Highway 169.
Wasn't he going a $1.09?
Was he the Viking?
Yeah, he was a wide receiver.
Was he late to get back to Mankato?
He was a little late for curfew.
And he was speeding down there in 169.
Yeah.
And now they don't go to Mankato anymore,
No,
do
it's
they?
not fun anymore. We want the hijinks on 169.
Well, they go to that new place they have.
Right. They can keep an eye on them.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Say thank you, GLers. Yes?
I buried the lead with my Harmony ad. That's why I was a little distracted during this day in history. This is for Joe and for Kenny. Are you paying attention?
Mm-hmm.
Harmony Spirits posted this. Listen, Ken, you're going to like this. They are excited and pleased to announce that Harmony Spirits is sponsoring Todd Francis. Here is his beautiful car called Severe Logic. It is a 1941 Ford Custom.
Yeah.
Custom. I've never seen a car like this before. Come here. Come over here quick.
Stand up and look.
If you're at a car show and see Todd, say hi and be sure to check out his custom car creations and let him know Harmony Spirits sent you. Sorry, Kenny.
Cool.
It's very, very cool, and it's on
Awesome.
their Facebook page. That's a neat-looking car.
We love cylinders at GM.
We absolutely do. Thank you. GLers? Question mark? Yes. Okay. Hey, do us a favor if you haven't done so already. Hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel.
Hey, are we still on the air?
Yes, sir.
Don and Putin haven't even had the meeting yet, and the Don is saying, give me the Nobel Prize. Give me the prize. They haven't had the meeting yet.
Is that the... Yeah, he's getting ahead of it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day. And on that YouTube channel, you can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage, but it's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube. Also search us for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com.
More than 24 people linked to Epstein scandal have died under mysterious circumstances.